Hey, Aussie Bonsai Bloke, yeah, you going. Today guys, well, who knows what we're doing, but we are working on this tree and I have no idea what's in here. The leaves are all starting to fall off. We're, well, pretty heavily into winter now. We've had a cold snap, some frosts, and leaves are coming off. And it's time to cut it back and shoot some shoots. So we're going to be doing that today. So it should look pretty naked at the end of this video. I might just rip off some inner leaves here so that I can see where I'm cutting back to. And they come off super easy because it's already gone into dormancy. Going or gone. So let's just rip some off. Do the old chicken pluck so we can see where we're working. Otherwise we can't really see much, can we? Go around a tree like this, just get rid of all the leaves so we can see where we're cutting back to. So we're doing a couple of maples today. So I did that last maple with a repot. This one won't have a repot. Although the tree probably deserves a repot, it's not going to have a repot. Not until spring if I do it. But it has been growing pretty strong in this pot each year. So although it's ugly, growth is the main thing that I'm after at the moment, so I don't know. I may leave it in this pot for another year, seeing as it's growing strong, or maybe I'll repot it. Who knows? But today's video is not about that. Today's video is just about trimming it back. So we got most of the leaves off. You can see the twigginess now. Okay. I think I did a bit of a hedge prune on this in summer. This is a coral bark maple. The front is, well, can be there or can be there. I think that is the back actually. So where I was plucking it and showing you the video of plucking it, well, that was actually the back of the tree, because this is a back branch that I'm developing. This is front. And as time goes on, this tree, the whole base will end up fusing up and should be good. So for now, let's do some shoot selection. So here we go, get the old scissors out that I sharpened up last session. Cut everything back to 2 shoots per location, and also shorten the shoots to the first node. Unless you've got an area that you want to seriously thicken up pretty well, that's all you're doing. So 2 shoots per location, back to the first node. If the first node's too long, you can cut it back and wait for a new shoot to happen next year, and hopefully it's got a shorter internode length on it. Cut all your old stubs off from last year that you left. Clean out the old leaves. Let's go around the whole tree like this. Now, I'm no maple expert, and I'll be the first to admit that. I've only got 2, so I don't have a hell of a lot of experience with them. I just fertilise them, trim them, and look after them. And that's it. And I've worked on them any time of the year. To be honest, doesn't seem to matter. And I'll also say that I have 45 degrees Celsius days. We've even had a 49, and this tree survived to 49. Yes, the leaves burnt, but within a couple of weeks new leaves came out, so it was almost like a mini defoliation. So, I don't know, in my experience they're actually a very, very hardy tree. If you're a little bit too warm, like me, they seem to shoot back just fine after they've had an encounter with a really hot day. So I would say give it a go, even in a hot climate. Give these a go. They're not that bad. Get rid of any dead shoots, leaves, stubs. This tree is starting to get towards refinement. There's still some sections that need to grow a bit stronger. But to be honest, this tree grew super, super strong. So this was a whip, maybe like that, probably 8 or 10 years ago. It went into a pot out the front of our house in full sun, 45-degree heat, with cement and pavers around, and it grew a trunk like that in that pot. The trunk has probably got a little bit better over time, but that trunk, I'll try and get rid of some of this foam so you guys can see it. But that trunk grew like that in that pot. And then I decided it's too nice to just have as a house plant. I'm going to turn it into a bonsai. Much to the wife's dismay, that's what's happened to it. So we're just choosing branches, cutting back, try and choose 2 from any one location, try not to leave 3, cut back dead stubs. Shorten everything back to a node. If a node's too long, cut it right back, and hopefully next year it puts out a shorter node. But they are notorious maples for putting out long nodes, but once you start to get a lot of refinement, sort of like this one doesn't have crazy refinement yet, but it is getting there. They do actually start to naturally put out shorter internodes once you start getting all this division, which I think is more important than how you fertilise, because a lot of people go on about, oh yeah, hold back the fertiliser in autumn so the spring growth isn't so severe. But I think it's more about getting branch division first, so as it's young it puts out big strong growth, single branches, long internodes, and then as it develops like this, it starts to naturally put out shorter internodes because it's got more and more branches that it has to share the energy through. So you naturally get shorter and shorter internodes, which is what you want. Like there, that was too long. The internode was out there and I just cut it back shorter. 2 from any one location, get rid of all the excess. You end up with a much cleaner, nicer looking tree if you just get rid of the excess rather than leaving it. Like up the top here, we've got too much stuff happening. So you want to chop some of this back, get a nicer, cleaner looking tree. And she should be sweet. So yeah, I dug it out of that pot plant maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I've just been developing the branch structure since, and this is 4 or 5 years, so not fast. Deciduous trees in general are not fast, but I find these to be even a little bit slower. It could be something to do with my hot climate, but they do grow, so we're getting there. Starting to get more and more branch division, more and more ramifications, so it'll be interesting over time to see how this tree turns out. see, it's all pretty simple. It's just clip and grow, cutting it back, one node. Let's see how we go. Cut it back here, one node again. And in summer, I think I did more of a hedge prune technique on this. Okay, so this is more of a detailed branch selection. But in summer, I did do basically a hedge prune where you just shorten everything up to create more and more branch division, and hopefully it gives it better strength because it's able to grow better. There's some weaker branches in there because they got shaded out, but hopefully come spring they shoot and become a nice strong branch. And because I sharpen up these scissors, they're doing a pretty good job. Okay, back to 2. Get rid of these bits in the middle. And I think we're nearly done. There's 3 here, cut one off. That tip off. Left a little bit of a stub on the outside of the internodes that come out. You can certainly tell where the internodes are because you'll see where the little buds are about to, well, not about to pop out, but where they're formed, and they will pop out next year. Any really weak growth should probably be cut off now because it's probably just going to die. It's going to die over winter. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So we head back to the front. You can see the root system on that. And that's it, that's that tree done. So that was a pretty quick video. You got to see the whole trimming of it. You got a back branch, side branches, sort of multi-trunk style. This one here is actually dominating as the main trunk. So you could possibly bring it out or snap it off. To be honest, I was actually thinking that you can either bring it out there, but then it created that S, or I could actually cut it off and let this stuff dominate. So it's actually made the mind up for me. As you can see, there is limits to a tree. Enough to worry because it probably looks better like that now anyway. Clean it up where it snapped off. And then this can hopefully take over as a tree. This is another trunk here, and I'm hoping this here really grows vigorously this year because I don't know whether these coral bark, is this coral bark maple, I don't know whether they're quite apically dominant like the rest of the trees because they actually seem to put out stronger shoots on the side and weaker ones on top. So it's going to be interesting over time to check that out, but there you go. I'll bring you in a bit closer to the tree. We'll do a bit of a spin. And see how we go. So there you go. I know this branch is straight and it's getting a bit too dominant. We're hoping that something here takes off and takes over. Otherwise, there is the potential in the long run to run that somewhere there as the front of the tree. We'll see. But yeah, that straight section is a bit of an eyesore at the moment, but I'm hoping. I think if you took out this one here would actually create better. Actually, we might do that. I think if we take that one out now, keep that as the front, take this bit out, this whole bit out now, even though that's grown really nice, the problem with it is it's dead in line with this. So it draws your eye right up to here and takes it away from the main trunk. So let's do that. Let's get rid of this one. Gone. And see what got taken off there. I think it has helped, just like that. Sometimes you're better off looking at the camera because you don't see it with your own eye. Just clean that up so that it can callus in. And I think that gives it a much better line because now that can go somewhere else and create more, you know, branch, you know, angles in where the branches go rather than that straight bit that was hanging out. So I'll give you another spin like that now. Okay, much better. I think it's looking much better just like that. So that could hopefully slow that down so this grows a bit better at the top. And we'll see how she goes next year. I may or may not repot it, but it did grow really strong this year. And I think there's still a fair bit of soil there for it to grow in. So see how we go. Coral bark maple, eat your heart out. She's had a bit of a trim. Cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your mates about the channel. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks very much. Cheers for watching. Enjoy all the comments that you guys give. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.